Hey, this is Terry Bain. We've got another cool episode of Business Growth Time. We're going to be talking about the expert authority effect with the expert authority himself, Mario Fachini. But before we get to him, with me, as always, the one, the only, the social media superstar, the fantastic Facebook lady that she is, Miss Janet E. Johnson, where today the E stands for, oh my God, I forgot to think of an E word.
You looking around.
So many things to worry about. I got to introduce our guest. I got to introduce you. I got to remember what the hell we're talking about. And now I got this E.
And we've used so many E's. I don't know. It's going to be an excellent show today. So let's just go back. I'm sure we've used that one, but
we haven't because it's too easy. Which, if I would have said Janet Easy Johnson, that just sets the show off on the wrong tip. We don't want to do that. So, Janet, excellent Johnson. All right, cool.
Well, I'm not putting that in the middle of mine, but I'm just saying the show is going to be excellent. So that's what the E stands for today.
Well, perfect. I hope the show is easy as well. So, welcome. Welcome, Mario. Very good to see you, sir. You're looking exceedingly dapper. For those of you who are listening, you are missing out. This guy is one sharp, smooth, dressed cat. I'll tell you that. You got a cat right there. I see him.
Yes.
Janet's got a cat. So we're going to talk about the expert authority effect today, which is the name of one of Mario's three international best-selling books. And I think he's going to probably talk about why having a book helps you have a little expert authority. But I've known Mario, Mario's been 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah, 5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7, somewhere.
Well, it's a new year now. It's a new year now. So
yeah, it's true. It's 2017. That's a good point. We met. I don't even remember where we met. I remember seeing you. The first time I remember seeing you was at an event at Automation Alley, one of the goal seminars I did. Had we met prior to that?
We did. I believe it was an LBN event in 2010 May, roughly.
Okay.
And what I appreciated about you is you were one of the people that knew what you were talking about, and you had the expert, and you were the authority, but you had heart. There was a lot of people when I started off networking and meeting people in the area and different things like that, and it was just like business. You actually connected with me. And then I started seeing what you were doing with other people, and that's why I was drawn to you. Especially through what you put on with Motor City Connect and TEDx.
Oh, that's very kind, man. Thank you. I didn't expect any of that, but good memory on you.
Well, it's true.
Well, I know, but I don't want everybody to know. I don't want people finding me for that kind of stuff. That's bad. I'm just kidding. All right, so that's awesome. Mario is obviously an author. He's a business coach. He's got a marketing company. He's an entrepreneur since probably the time he was 7 or 8 years old. We'll ask him about his first entrepreneurial experience. I'm sure he was young, but you've been running businesses to probably up to 6 or 7 of them by now for at least a dozen years. And I don't think he's 32 years old yet. So maybe he'll let us know. It'll be interesting. So looking forward to chatting with you, Janet. I know that you've got questions and that you're thinking about writing a book. And I know that I've got
too long. I've been thinking about writing a book.
I know Mario helps people get it done.
Give that boom. Push that I need. I know. I got a new goal, but yeah, you know how I keep pushing that goal off.
Mario's got some training systems too that he's built, and I know that's one of your goals. So I think it would be awesome for you to pick some conversation from him, because I think he can kind of help in that area, which is neat. And I know some other people in Ernie land are thinking about writing a book too. So what do you want? What do you want to know? Where do you want to start, Janet?
Ooh, well, go ahead and tell us about your book first, and what the latest book is and why you wrote it.
I wrote it because it was bothering me, if you want the total truth.
Okay.
So yeah. I wrote my first one back in 2012, and then I wrote a second one for the software I built. And then but here's the thing. I have been teaching on this since I had a client for book publishing before mine was even out. So I've been helping people with this for the last 5 years, successfully, might I add. And I've been helping other people with it. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I really started moving it to the forefront, and everyone knew my background and knew I had been speaking and knew I could do the stuff, but there was never a book that had it all in one place. So one of the things I teach is, what you want your training to be. If this is the end goal and this is what you're teaching on the topic, this is what we're going to write the book about. And then we're going to do the other behind the scenes stuff, so it's all congruent. And this was bothering me because I had the knowledge, the expertise and all this, but none of my books reflected it. I was like, I got to get this thing done. Second reason, hardcover. All the others were soft covers. And I wanted to throw a party. So
could you not have a party for a soft cover book? Like they're not worthy? You're too floppy.
Unless you got a time machine, I can't go back in time.
Yeah, yes.
I was like, let's do this right, and I did it, and it was a great year and everything. But more importantly, I was able to help other people do the same because they saw what I was doing, and I was like, I know how to do this. I've helped people do it in anywhere from 2 weeks to 8 weeks. It's not hard for me anymore. But I love helping other people do it because they might be sitting going, there's someone I'm thinking of right now. And she told me this back in 2011 when I even thought about this. And then 2012, I published it. She goes, I've been thinking about it for 2 years. I go, there's 3 frogs on a log. 2 of them want to jump off. How many did? Like frogs, I go,
I had to think about that for a second. Hold on now. Let me do the math.
You got to take the action and do it. And that's actually one of
Just
the
do it.
expert authority effects. So I'm blessed to be able to give back and say, hey, here's how I've been able to crank through. In the live event, I pulled that off in 5-6 weeks. Some people told me it's insane. You can't do it in less than 8 to 12. I was like, great. You can't. I can. Watch this.
If I have to do something and it's going to take longer than 6 weeks, it's never going to happen because I don't have the attention span to last 6 weeks, right? So all the 313D Love events that we put on, they were like, it's February 10th. Let's go ahead and get this started. Perfect. That's a month and 3 days. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Motor City Connect Birthday Bash, same thing. It wasn't even an idea in February, and it happened in the end of March. So I'm totally with you. How long did it take you to crank that last book out? Big smile.
I say 5 days, and that's conservative because the party was on. I've never told anyone this unless it's one-on-one.
That's okay. Nobody's listening. It's good.
What day was the launch? December 6th. The party was on the 7th.
That's my birthday. Anyway.
Nice. My kid's birthday is the 7th.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you.
I couldn't come. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you were one of the top 5 people I wanted there. I wrote you on the list first.
I wanted to be there.
Next one. December 6th and 7th.
Could be next week at this rate.
Exactly.
So December 6th and 7th was the launch. Now, mind you, I also had to order the hardcover, so I needed those in a week to 10 days beforehand. So I wrote that Wednesday night, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Saturday, polished it up on Sunday, and had it to the printer on Monday.
Wow.
You had to have started writing it before that, though.
Not really, no.
Huh.
But he had experienced it before.
Yeah, I mean, I've been teaching on it for 5 years. I mean, it's like if I were to ask you about Facebook ads, Janet, and what you do. I mean, we could sit down for 6 hours and you'd be like, going off it. All you got to do is take that and compile it into something that's manageable.
Yeah, that's a question for you though, because one of my holdbacks in launching a book is because my expertise is social media. Well, social media, to be honest, it sucks when it comes to how long it lasts. I mean, it's
your book's
just that
outdated by goes.
It is. And granted, I do know my idea and my concept, and it will be more generic than very specific social strategies, but it's been very hard to overcome that piece of things because I keep going back into a teaching mode of this is, step by step, this is what you need to do. And because that's what I do I have online courses. So that side of it, you can get away with it, but a book, so go ahead and you look like you're thinking something. So go for it.
Are you open to an idea on that?
Of course.
Let's kick it back old school for a second here.
Yeah.
Can you read that?
Video marketing. Yep. I can't read the bottom line though.
For business owners. What's the first site that comes? This is my first book in 2012. What is the first site that comes to mind when you see video marketing?
YouTube.
Do you think YouTube changes a little bit?
A little. Yeah, a lot.
I realize that I don't want to rewrite this thing 18 times over the next 10 years. I update it yearly, just released the 2017 edition, and I'm not going to say that on here, but
well, you can say it. I've said all kinds of shit on this show. Oh, that's probably not where you were going, though. Sorry, you're a professional. Unlike.
So I assure you, it's you're making it harder than you're thinking about.
My head is making it harder. Yes.
I just put a giant list on here, and I think it's like chapter 4 or something. I was like, all this crap is going to change continually. Don't worry about the details. Here's the list of sites you should be using.
Is that one of the things you have to update every year?
No, actually, it's wrong. Whatever. If they come back, now I don't need to fix it. But it's like, think. Oh, that site doesn't work anymore. Then don't use it. YouTube will be around. I mean, I say it jokingly and I like to have fun, but even in my training and stuff, I take the same approach. You can ask anyone. They're like, well, what about this? What about this? What about that? I go, outsource that crap. Go out with your family, go to the hot tub, go have food. Like, do something fun. Like, do what you can do, stay in your strength zone, and let everyone else worry about the rest. The social media stuff, it's a friggin' nightmare. I mean, think about it. Facebook 2 days ago didn't have this thing, and now I'm like, I don't even know what app I'm on anymore. I took my phone, I muted it for this and all of that. I'm like, if that thing gets turned back on later today, great. If it doesn't, Merry Christmas. My life's going to be great today and this weekend. So it's like, use it to your advantage, do what you need to, but a lot of people think you just gotta, there's 1,000,001 people that do that. Here's the thing. In summation, I didn't want to be known as the technical guru you come to always nitpick. I like teaching strategy that lasts, 5, 10. A lot of the stuff I teach is stuff I've learned that has been around, like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, 1923. What's that have to do with social media? A lot. Just make sure you do it on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and whatever's still relevant right now.
I think that's really important, right? Because realistically, it's not so much the tools that matter. It's the tactics. It's the things you're actually going to do. And to your point, by bringing Napoleon Hill into it, it's the attitude and the behaviors that you bring to it that actually matter more than what you're actually doing. I love that point.
Yeah, one of the things I tell people in the class is we start with your market. You need to identify who you're working with, and then get your messaging right. Then you go out to the media. A lot of people start with, I need Facebook, I need Snapchat. I'm not even going to I don't even know or care. But they're playing down here and they have no idea about these. You got to start, it's basic business 101. Like, I just got the new iPhone 17s G Plus. Like, Merry Christmas. It's going to be outdated in 3.5 months.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, now back to your book and the point of your book, because it's called, can you repeat the name of it again?
The Expert Authority Effect.
Okay. So speaking of, why does a book give you that authority? What are the reasons for it?
Well, the root word of authority is author.
Well, there you go. But, okay, expand on it.
That's one of the things is if you look at all the well-known people in history that made a difference, we're not talking, there's someone that pops into mind that just got some notoriety and she's absolutely friggin' insane. That made a difference. I mean, we can start with Jesus. He wrote scripture. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I mean, anyone and everyone, it's the way we communicate. Books have been around for, depending on who you ask how old the world is, but since forever. It's how you pass information along. It's like I would equate it to getting dressed. When you're going in for an interview or you're going into a play or somewhere fancy or whatever, they always say dress to impress, right? And it's not so much that person A can't. It's a matter of, do you see yourself on that level? I see people all the time, many of them smarter than me, pretty much all of them, but will they take the time to actually finish the book? I use the example of college. 100,000 kids start. I'd say 50,000 make it to year 2, 25,000 to year 3. I didn't graduate college. I don't even know what they're called anymore. But and then year 4, how many are left? That start, and then how many finish? It's a process of, hey, I know I have the information. I know I'm worth it, and I care enough about you to share it. They're not trying to be greedy with it. This is the best stuff in the world. And I go, here, Merry Christmas. Here's a free copy. Here you go. You know, if it's in a selling situation, you can buy one. But either way, you can get that information. Years ago, it used to be, here's the secret. We know the answer. We know it works. We don't want to share it because now the people can overpower us. Forget that. I'm looking to empower everyone. I can't do that working one-on-one. And but you can create your online trainings. You can create, products and packaging and, share it with people. Give them the opportunity to not go through what we went through the first decade of our business.
You just touched on a huge change in business that I've noticed in the last really in the last 5 to 8 years, and continuing on an upward tick. And it was in the old days, man, it was proprietary information. Mine. You don't get to see it. I'm not sharing it. It's behind the firewall. Shh, don't talk about it. And it used to be the same for an individual. Ooh, I have to write in my diary. I have to share my innermost thoughts and I have to bury them under my pillow. Get out of my diary. Nowadays, man, everything's smattered all over the interwebs and we're as open as can be. Come check out our good, our bad, our ugly. And I think that movement toward transparency is going to just continue both on an individual and a corporate level.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see that because I think that transparency lends to cooperation and collaboration. And it's when you cooperate as opposed to compete that really cool stuff starts to happen.
Absolutely, because no one wants to deal with a corporate entity. They want to deal with people. And even behind the smoke and mirrors, there was always a person. And I have reason to believe that's what we'll take Apple and Microsoft, 2 of the biggest tech companies of the time. But you know what? Everyone goes, oh, it's because they're Apple and Microsoft. No, it's because of the personal selling that Steve Jobs and Bill Gates could do. They still had a face to the company. They weren't, well, I'm not going to name another one, but one popped in my mind. And it's like, who runs it? Who are they? I don't know, but they're huge. They do $300-400 billion a year. They, employ over 1 million people. It's like no one, it's just, we need branding and logos. You need a human connection. That's what I was just telling someone yesterday. Even 2 years ago, I got 3, 4, 5 devices here you can broadcast live from, and that would have cost $2 to $5 grand for equipment 2 years ago and $5 to $10 grand 3, 4, 5 years ago. Now you can be walking around anywhere. And, that's why, like I was saying in the training, I take people through one of the modules is on branding, and it has nothing to do with logos and everything. All those logos I created usually 20 minutes before they needed to be done. One of those on there was done at 5 a.m. the day I had to get that to the printer 2 hours later. If you can guess which one, I'll tell you if you're right. But I didn't pay some brand. I'm the brand. I realize that.
Yes.
You're not buying the frickin' logo. Yep. And then when it changes, everyone's like in a tizzy. Terry's trying to figure it out.
I'm trying my butt, dude. I will figure it out. You don't even think twice about it.
But that's the thing. It's like, and then everyone gets in a tizzy. Oh, why'd they change the such and such logo? It's been that way for 35 years. Because things change. It's called life.
Yeah.
So, when you can connect and teach people how to think and then use these tools, that's kind of my approach instead of here's all the tools and you're still a basket case. Like you have to know how to interact. Like, you have to have people skills. You have to know persuasion and sell. A business is a lot more than just, hi, I have a skill set. skill set's not enough. Skill set's fine for a job, but not for a business. So
good point. I like that statement. Mm-hmm.
I embody everything I've done, and Terry touched on it. And this isn't my first go around, but it's everything I've learned over the last number of years.
Nice. Got to keep that appeal. All right. So it was the expert authority effect with the little gold dude that you made up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Your book logo.
Oh, how'd you figure that out?
Because I looked at them and I could tell that was the one that had some other borrowed property to it. So that makes very good sense to me.
And I guess I did allude to I needed it before it had to get to the printer, right?
Well, I figured you were talking about the sign.
The sign.
I thought you were talking about the sign. But
that was the thing a few days before. Where's the trophy at? Anyway, I handed out some trophies to my clients like I've received in the past also. So that's how it got incorporated in the logo. And then when I was like, well, crap, I need one more thing to balance off the banner. See how they're side and side?
Right.
I was like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't have time. I just want to take a nap. Like, I don't even care anymore. And I go, oh my gosh. And I looked, I had the book cover design. So then I just got the vector and changed it. But it's as simple as it. It's as simple.
I see it. I saw it too.
It's as simple
it's on the mic.
that. And that's shoot. As long as we're being transparent, anyone going, "Oh, that's fancy." It's a sheet of paper.
I didn't know that.
Look.
That's awesome. It's like a Post-it note stuck to the microphone that he's.
In all fairness, I did print off the actual logo, and I cut it with. I don't even think it was scissors. I think I used a knife to trim it because I didn't want to walk downstairs. But that's the thing. Everyone gets all caught up and they'll spend a week on some crap like that. And I'm looking at it.
I agree. It's overthinking. Yes, I completely agree. Overthinking makes you stagnant. Absolutely. And then you don't move forward.
I call it turd polishing because that's what it tends to end up being, right? You're sitting there trying to buff out the last piece of shit on the piece of shit. Why, dude? The funny thing about perfection, and this is what drives me nuts, especially about designers, is perfection doesn't really exist anywhere outside of your own mind because what's perfect to me is different for what's perfect for Janet, different for what's perfect for Mario.
I like that.
Get it out, get feedback, and improve it based on the feedback, not sitting around trying to polish that last scrub of poop off of it. Just get it out, man. Just ship, right? Isn't that Seth Godin's line? Just ship. That's ship with a P, just for the record. All right.
I agree. I mean, I think, and one thing I tell people all the time is you can make mistakes and easily fix them on social media. You can create that logo and maybe you don't like it tomorrow. We'll change it out. I don't ever like my picture, so I'm changing that out all the time, So it's just the way it is. But you can always change it out so simply. So yeah, I'm a just do it type person, which is surprising. I don't have a book, but there's another story behind that.
Yeah.
You don't have a book.
Exactly. It will happen.
Tell her, Mario. So how do you, Jenna's a person that you have coached and helped her. She launched a book in 6 weeks. How do you get somebody, and you don't have to give all the secrets away, obviously. I get that's part of the coaching program. But at a high level, how do you even get somebody to take the steps to make that happen? How do you write a book in 5 days? That seems like impossible to me.
It's crazy.
It took 2 years to write a book. 2 years.
So my first one, and I have no problem sharing with it because here's the thing. People like, well, what about this? What about this? And this brings up a good point in selling. So people are hesitant to go, hey, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to get into your program or whatever. And I go, that's totally fine. I'm sorry to hear that you don't trust yourself. And you're like, what? And it's like, I know this works. Like, you don't, my confidence is through the roof with this, but it's like, for all you know, I could be crazy, but for all I know, you could be lazy. I could line out every single thing in here. And, I could knock this out. So first book, 2.5 months, second book a day. That's why so this whole perfectionism thing, I said, I'm going to write this one more casually because the other one was a little intense. So I took 5 days on this one instead of 1 day for the second.
1 day. And that was about your marketing platform, about IDW now, or
That
IWD.
was for my website building software, yes.
Okay.
Build WordPress websites automatically.
Got
Yeah.
it.
But again, it's all the same content that you could ask me anything about any of us, and it's like it's so easiest to go off on. So you said how? The first thing is belief. You need to believe you can do it. If you don't, it's going to take you forever. If you go, okay, I'm going to remove all insecurities, fear, doubts, and all this. I'm going to just trust the process and say, I believe I can do it. Some people can do that on their own, not many. That's why you hire a coach, because they're there to encourage you, because stuff will come up. And I just launched someone else to international bestseller this week. And sure enough, right on schedule, the 11th hour, stuff happens. And, I called her. She didn't say anything, but I called her and I was like, hey, how's it going? Because I know the process. There isn't anyone I haven't worked with where something weird doesn't happen. I go, that's a great thing, because it's happening beforehand, not after or during. That's why you get all the kinks out. If you don't know what to look for, something will come up every time, and that's with me guiding you. But I know how to navigate it. If you're waiting to do it on your own, something will still come up, and you might not even know where to look or anticipate. So the thing is, believe you can do it, and then structure it. It's not rocket surgery. What do you need for a book, Terry? You need a title. Well, I don't know what the title, I don't know what the title would be. Well, pick a topic you have knowledge on. Well, what should I write about now? It's like, come on, think. Expand the ideas. Let's have a quick conversation about it. Oh, what's your topic? Oh, gummy bears. Well, what about gummy bears? Oh, well, they're made with sugar. They're, and you can get green and then put them in the mud pie things with the worms, and there's various, whatever. So make each thing into a topic. You just break it down. Here's the main, believe you can. Here's the main thought. Break it down into 7 to 10 other things, bullet points. Guess what the bullet points turn into? Chapters. Let's take Janet. You have online training. How many modules do you have?
I have the whole thing broken down. I have the title. I own the domain. I've already got half the stuff. It's kind of crazy.
And the content, really, to some
I
extent.
do. Yeah, so, I do.
Normally you would start with the book and then go title, chapters. And then once this is done, we talk about how to create the online training. So you're over here, just like I was. I had this stuff first. I go, I should probably do a book on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly.
If you were to write down all the modules for me, cross off the word module and put chapter.
That'd be actually another book. That's actually my online course would be a different book than what I'm thinking about writing the book on. So
but think about
so there's 2 books.
There you go.
Now, how long would it take you to rename what you already have to turn that into a second book? You already have the content. It's already done.
The answer is less than 16 seconds.
Well, it would, but you'd have to, the only difference in my online course is majority video demo. So the
now
video
you get
demo
someone to
has
transcribe
to be,
it, right?
Exactly. Very, written out, and, that there's pieces of it that I'd maybe even leave out but you wouldn't need it all.
And you absolutely can. You go, you're asking, how did I get the second book done in a day? The first book I had to think about. That's why it took a little over 2 months. I was actually, this is my first time ever doing it. The second one, I started pulling out, I went to my own Facebook. I went to comments in the webinar that I have. I went to the actual webinar presentation, and I just took everything I already had, massaged it around, added a little bit, grabbed a few extra testimonials, went to Vimeo, grabbed some screenshots of the customer testimonial, put the picture in the book, had the thing transcribed. It was it's just committing and saying, I'm going to actually take the little bit of time it actually takes to do it. Everyone has the content. There's people that have more stuff than me. And how do you know that? Because I go to their YouTube channel and their Facebook, and I see they have 368 videos. It's like, pick 10. Pick 10. And
Terry, we could have a few books off the podcast.
We could. I hope Mario makes us write one. I think that would be funny.
One of my goals is I'm working on a new training for super high-end people that don't have time to go through that. Because I have 3 or 4 people right now that want to get started in the class, and they're like, I'm not sure if I have the time for 8 weeks. And I was like, interesting. And I thought about this last year, and I want to do a bestseller in a day. Because I pulled it off. I was like, I know I can do it. And it's just thinking about it differently. If you're in a position like you two and you already have the content, it's just a matter of getting a cover, organizing it, editing it, transcribing it, which is all outsourceable.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, it's a matter of getting it printed. But to launch the book, you don't even need the printed book done. You just need the Kindle done. And I have some really awesome people that have pulled some miracles off. You know, you just pay them twice as much and they scurry up a little bit. But I'm curious. I want to know. I want to break my own goal. And so my idea is bestseller in a day. And then it would have to be live, working with you one-on-one, and then do 2 4-hour days. So you can actually think about it, let it marinate a little bit while the other stuff's getting transcribed. And I have an outline for that, and I'm excited to do that because some people literally, they don't have the time. Mm-hmm. And I've done it in a day, so I know it's possible. And then, you can launch 2 weeks later. I mean, it's just fun for me. I mean, the process is the same. If you have the information, because some people say, I don't have anything, great. That's why it's 8 weeks. Some people say, I already have a book, great. You don't have the other 6 stuff I teach. I have 8 weeks, 8 modules. They don't have the other 6. The bestseller and the mindset is just weeks 1 and 2. There's 6 other weeks with other stuff. And so whether someone has a book or not, it really doesn't matter because there's more to the process than that. But everyone comes in at different levels, and I can meet them there. And even the people that are already at the top of their game, there's still 5-6 weeks of stuff that they can improve on.
Nice.
Very cool.
Sounds like a great. Now, that I think is a perfect leeway to end and talk about where people can find you if they're interested in this and other things that you have or want to purchase your books. Where is the best place to find you?
The best resource they can go to is expertauthorityreport.com. And it's going to give them great information. It's going to sum up the 7 steps, and it's free for them.
Okay, nice.
If they want to purchase the books, they can. If they want to inquire about the training program, they would need to apply, but they can. But I always like to give back. So the free resource is expertauthorityreport.com, and they'll get clarity on their own business just from that alone.
Cool. And then they would be able to be updated if you do launch these programs, or when you do, they'll be on your list to get an alert about it too. Correct?
Yeah, I can send out information to them.
Cool. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks. And then what's your biggest, I kind of have a feeling, but if they want to touch base with you in social media, where would that be the best place?
Facebook's probably the best. Facebook and LinkedIn.
Facebook and LinkedIn. Okay.
Facebook,
awesome.
I don't always check. LinkedIn, Facebook and LinkedIn, but I check it every now and again.
Where are you speaking next? Where are you headed?
Perhaps Philadelphia or back to San Diego.
Nice. Very
depending if it works with my schedule and some personal stuff I have going on.
All right. Very cool. Well, excellent, Mario Riccardo Fachini. It's not, I don't have a very good accent, but that's cool. I enjoyed this. I learned some stuff. It was fun to connect with you in this capacity as opposed to in other capacities where I see you. And I think you added a ton of value, man. I really encourage people to go to expertauthorityreport.com so they can understand those 7 steps, so they can get clarity on their business, and then they can learn a little bit more about you and the goodness that you're bringing to the earth. So thank you for that. We appreciate it. All right.
Yes.
How do they find us, Janet E. Johnson?
businessgrowthtime.com/podcast. You'll find all our past podcasts, and be sure to join our group. I know Mario's already part of it. And whenever we launch a show, you can ask questions. That would be right in businessgrowthtime.com or sorry, I screwed it up,
Ooh, Janet
dot
Johnson.
XYZ. Or just Google or go into Facebook and punch in business growth time. But either way, we have a group and we would love you to join.
We
So
would
thank you
indeed.
so much, Mario. This was awesome. Very awesome. I
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. Ernie, we'll see you soon. Mario, I'll see you soon. Janet, we'll do this again soon. So thank you, guys. Be good.